Okay, so here we have, I'm finally going to go ahead and review one of these. It is the Figure-riseLABO Fumina Hoshino, the second scene. Now, I have to apologize ahead of time. I'm kind of breaking our usual rule of not reviewing kits that we don't have available for sale on the site. Originally, when I got the okay to go ahead and build this, there actually was stock left over from right when this kit came in that customers could buy for this. Actually, it was a kind of a decent number amount, but boy, those kits just sold out so fast that by the time I got this thing built and brought in the Monday after I took it home right before the weekend, they were already gone. But this is, as it mentions in the title, the second scene. So this is actually the second release of one of these Figure-riseLABO Fumina Hoshino kits. They had a first edition, or the very first one that they had out, she was wearing more of a yellow bikini instead of this more dark bluish style swimsuit here. So it isn't like Bandai cannot produce more of these kits, so I'm going to go ahead and review this one, knowing that since this is a second release of this kit, more than likely at some point Bandai is going to have a third version of this kit, or even maybe they are going to go ahead and reissue it, this and the first one, at some point. So they can still make it, it's just they keep it limited. So that's all that I'm going to say about that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the kit itself. So as you can see, it's not your standard type of Gundam. I know this is Gunpla TV, but this is the same plastic that you're going to see on a Bandai Gundam kit, and this is made by the Bandai Hobby division. Alright, so there is no articulation, but instead of articulation, one of the main big fancy selling features of this kit is something that they are calling that layered injection right there. It's on the box, and on the back of the box they kind of illustrate how this works here. They have two layers of plastic molded onto each other. So you have a bottom pink layer, and then above that you have this more skin toned colored. It's a bit opaque so that you're able to see the pink color below it. So this is how they do it. And once you take a look at the kit itself, you can see here on the legs, so you see there it's a bit kind of, the pink is kind of showing through there in the torso as well, and on the legs. That is quite nice. Now the face also has that same kind of layered injection, but the arms, you'll notice the arms are maybe a little bit off compared to the torso and the legs, and there is no pink to them, and that is because these arms are just molded in one solid skin tone colored plastic, so you do not get that fancy kind of layered injection look that you do on the legs as well as the torso. Let's talk about the swimsuit here. This is molded in this quite glossy type of plastic that looks really nice, really shiny, and the little cap mark that you have here on the back side of her, that is also a separately molded piece in white plastic there. So the eyes also have that layered injection to them. It looks really fantastic on this kit. They did a really great job on molding those eyes there. Now the hair is molded into separate different pieces that you have to snap together in order, kind of like it's a bit of a puzzle to put it together, but not too difficult. Actually, this kit does not have a whole lot of pieces to it, so it goes together really fast. And I actually spent more time trying to clean up the nub marks on this kit than I did actually building the kit. So, I mean, if you're getting that fancy layered injection, especially on the leg pieces here, you're not really going to want to just take a pair of cheap nippers and then just hack it away and just leave really ugly looking nub marks on the kit. So you can see here, let me pull this close to see if you can see it. You see that tiny darkish mark there? That is one of the nub, or one of the connectors were for the sprue there. So another one down here. So what I did to cut these off and get it to be as flush as possible and get it to not show up as much as possible was I just used my favorite nippers, the God Hands, and I would just cut it down as smoothly as possible. And then I went in there. I didn't use any sandpaper and didn't use any files for this because I was kind of more afraid if I was to use sandpaper or a file with this kit that you're gonna kind of damage the surrounding area. So I wanted to leave this as stock as possible without ruining anything else there. So I just use a combination of the really sharp God Hand nippers as well as a stainless steel scalpel blade to cut down what tiny bits were remaining. So I think I did a pretty decent job on cleaning up those nub marks for this kit as much as could be done here. Now there is, on the leg, there is one nub mark that is that under the kind of skin colored pinkish color that they have underneath the skin tone color. One of those nubs does show through, but they've kind of covered it up by having her legs strategically crossed at the point where you're going to see that nub mark. So you can kind of see it down there a little bit on the inside, but when she's just posed normally like so, you're not going to see that at all unless you're looking from behind and if you're really looking up close. Now also new for this kit is this watery display base, which has a wave splashing up that her foot can attach to. And also for this display base, it comes with this sandy little piece of paper that you can put on the underside. Now there's nothing to hold this paper on there, so if it's not just standing by itself, it's literally just going to fly right off. So I'm gonna just ditch that piece right now. The main selling feature for this is this fancy layered injection plastic, which I've talked a lot about right now. This is the second release, as I mentioned in the beginning, so I have to hope at some point Bandai will go ahead and reissue this so that more people will have a chance to buy one if you would really like to. But definitely it is an interesting piece to have. It might, if your shelf only has Gundam kits on it, then this might not naturally fit in with the rest of the Gundam kits, but I just always like to see what kind of interesting and unique things that Bandai Hobby comes up with, and this is just one of those kits. I just had to build it, even though it is based on a really scantily clad girl figure here, that it was something interesting, I feel. The character, I don't think I mentioned anything about the character herself, so this is Fumina Hoshino from the Gundam Build Fighters Tri-series, in which the series, it's a bunch of junior high school age kids that compete in a Gundam competition. So if you've never watched that series, it's still quite entertaining, I have to say, and definitely worth a watch. And this kit, definitely, if you are interested in seeing what Bandai can do with this layered injection, if you like the character, if you like these kind of figure kits, it's definitely something you should check out if you ever have the opportunity to do so. Alright, so I think that's about all I'm going to say on this.